The opinions on this show do not represent anything other than entertainment. I'm not here to offend anybody more than this face already does. So if you disagree with anything I say, feel free to bitch about it in the comments. That's what they're there for. Now with that said, let's do this shit. What's up, world? It's the bad guy here again, and you're watching Trapped in the Web, hosted by yours truly, Trap Gambino. Halloween, directed by Rob Zombie. Back in the 90s, as a kid blasting Living Dead Girl on a scratch CD in my Sony boombox, I never thought that I would be reviewing a film by the dread-headed dead man himself. Halloween 2007 is a remake / reimagining and second alternative timeline of the 1978 horror film of the same name and the 9th installment in the Halloween franchise. It's Halloween morning in the town of Haddonfield, and right away we see the movie taking a look at something only the past films brushed upon: Michael's childhood. Yellow tint, a gritty 70s look, great choice of music. If you're familiar with his past work, you can tell this is a Rob Zombie film.
Bill? Is he okay?
After a shot of this version of the Myers house, we get a scene of little precious Michael killing his pet mouse in a clown mask. Oh, that's right, they're not wasting any fucking time here. Next, we get a bit more familiar with the Myers family, which is basically the worst thing you could possibly imagine. The mother is a stripper, the daughter is a whore, the son is, well, he's Michael Myers, and the stepdad is an angry, drunk, abusive, incest, pedophilic, homophobic, dirty hillbilly. Oh, and there's some random screaming baby thrown in there that definitely won't grow up to become the main character.
That's all that fucker does is cry!
I think they went a bit overboard with the broken family vibe here. It's almost cartoonish at times how nasty they all are to each other, but also hilarious. Cut to Michael taking a piss in school. While minding his own business, these little douchebags decide to roll up in there and push little Mikey and talk shit about his mama. And you know as well as I do, nobody just talks shit about your mama. Before a 2-on-1 attack ensues, the principal rushes in to save the day. This guy looks more like the serial killer. Either way, Michael gives him a thug life F you.
Fuck you.
And now his ass is suspended. They call in his mom and introduce us to this version of Dr. Loomis, which is another character you can comfortably hate in this movie. When Michael eventually does go on his murderous rampages, which is coming soon, it's hard to feel any sympathy or relationship to these characters, so Michael almost comes off as feeling like a good guy, and I'm okay with that. School's out and the homeboy that was talking trash about Michael is now on his way home, alone. You can probably guess what's gonna happen here. They give us a scene of him leaving school and spitting in another kid's hat. I felt like this was almost a cheap way of telling us, don't feel bad for what's about to happen. This kid deserves it. Michael ambushes this kid in the woods with a giant stick and brutally beats him to death for his first kill. This was cool as hell. I thought they did a great job at making you feel the desperation and hopelessness in the victim. Michael leaves the body deep in the woods and heads home for trick-or-treating like nothing ever happened. We've all been there. It's Halloween night at the Myers house. Stepdad is getting drunk, mom is going stripping, and Michael's sister decides to blow off taking him trick-or-treating so that she could blow some dude who looks like every guitarist of every rock band in the 70s. This guy also hilariously gives Michael a, sorry bro. Love hurts, but here's a shot of Rob Zombie's wife's ass.
Sorry, Squirt, but have fun.
Meanwhile, Michael is chilling at the kitchen table, eating candy corn, plotting on killing all these motherfuckers. His first step is the stepdad. Duct tape, throat slash. Next is the headbanger boyfriend who takes a headbanging. Lastly, we have the sister, who Michael at least decides to cop a feel before he stabs to death with a chef knife. Now that the entire family is murdered besides that one random baby I was talking about earlier, it's time for Stripperella to come home to find the beautiful art her son left for her. Heading over to the good old Smith's Grove, where Michael spends the rest of his childhood slowly going deeper and deeper into darkness until he eventually kills a nurse, which leads to his mother's suicide. And now, other than Dr. Loomis begging him to talk every now and then, Michael is all alone. Fast forward 15 years later, and Loomis is still looking over Michael Myers, who is now ginormous and hasn't said shit in 15 years. Here's where my least favorite scene in the movie takes place. A rape scene. More cheap assurance that somebody is about to die, and we as an audience should not feel bad about it. After two drunk hillbillies decide to rape a patient in front of Michael, he goes apeshit and kills everybody in the clinic, along with the security guard who was somewhat his buddy throughout his time in Smith Grove, which breaks my heart. He was good to you, Mikey.
I was good to you, Mikey.
Loomis finds out about the Smith Grove massacre via phone call, and the fun begins as Lurch Michael Myers is on the loose. Cut back to Haddonfield, Halloween morning. Remember that random screaming baby I was talking about?
I'll get the crutches for you.
Well, now she's all grown up and her name is Laurie. We meet Laurie and her family, who seems somewhat normal other than some random bagel fingering.
This, Mom.
Laurie!
I'm so
Interesting fact, some of the trees in the shots outside here are actually disguised palm trees. This brings me to my only likable character in this entire film, and he's the big rig driving, smooth talking, knife packing Joe Grizzly bitch.
I'm Joe Grizzly, bitch.
Then Michael beats the shit out of him, literally. After this, the movie kind of drags on a little bit. We get some scenes of Michael going back home and finding his mask, and scenes of him stalking Laurie, reminiscent of the first film. Trick or treat, some teenagers are about to have sex, and you know what that means in a horror film. After this guy nails the chick, Michael nails the guy to a wall before getting a titty flash, then killing his girlfriend. After Michael decides to kill Laurie's family, apparently he showed up looking for her or something, we get Laurie and the kids watching movies on the TV that are definitely past copyright. After a few annoying scenes of Loomis attempting to convince the sheriff to warn the town, we get Michael killing more horny teenagers. Remember the little girl Jamie, who was the main character for Halloween 4 and 5? Well, she's a different character now and she's all grown up, and we see her topless in a drawn out sex scene. I can't help but be bothered by this. Way to take her innocence. They also murdered the shit out of her. Damn you, Rob Zombie. Dr. Loomis and the sheriff are now out in Haddonfield searching for Michael. Meanwhile, Laurie stumbles upon her bloody, dying, naked friend along with Pumpkinhead just hanging out. Side note, this little girl's scream is epic. Laurie dials the police, which the sheriff hears on the radio, so him and Dr. Loomis are now on their way. Michael chases Laurie through a house, down the street, and into another, provoking another epic scream from this little girl. Police show up, but only to be murdered, of course. But my question is, why would you send 2 police officers on a murder call? Hell, I've seen them send 5 police cars on one homeless guy on Boulder Highway. Michael bursts through the bathroom door like the fucking Kool-Aid man.
Oh yeah, here comes Kool-Aid, here comes...
Grabs Laurie, who just passes out in his arms for some reason. I really don't get that. After being carried off by Michael, Dr. Loomis and the sheriff show up in just the nick of too late. They pull the whole cliche girl running from a serial killer then trips and falls gig. This time it's in a pool full of leaves. Dr. Loomis conveniently shows up with a hand cannon to blast Michael from behind. I should probably reword that. Dr. Loomis conveniently shows up with his revolver to shoot Michael in the back before he can get to Laurie. This is where I felt the film should have ended, but unfortunately it didn't. Michael pops Loomis's head like a grape and proceeds to run after Laurie, and we get another chase scene. After Laurie conveniently finds Dr. Loomis's gun laying on the ground, Michael and Laurie seem to be face to face at the top of the Myers house. This is where, for no reason, Michael decides to drop his weapon and straight up football tackle Laurie through a window. What the fuck? Laurie is over top of Michael and she looks great here. Her face looks like she was beat the hell up. Makeup effects did a great job. Gun cocks, click click and boom. Ears ringing, blood spewing, and Laurie screaming. We get a shot at the very end that reminds us after all this, Laurie's still that annoying screaming baby from the beginning of the movie. Now the nightmare is over. Until Rob Zombie makes another Halloween movie. I know this movie gets a lot of heat, but I personally love this movie for the visuals, the gore, and of course the music. I will personally give this movie a 3 out of 5 stars. The first half was a lot better than the last half, and all in all, it was a great movie. Episode 2 in the books. I truly hope this was an improvement on the last episode and the next one and so on. Thank you all for the love and support we received on the first video. We will be back next week. See you guys then.